So I know this is a sensitive subject, but it's just, again, it's truly an issue of clarity. So here is Exhibit A of a man who was raised with white privilege.
Oh, yes.
I'd like you to share with our audience the white privilege, and be honest, okay? You don't understate the amount of privilege that you were raised with.
Well, I want to say this. I got into a semi-heated debate with a black fella who was on public radio and went to University of Michigan and then got his a doctorate in law from University of Michigan as well. And then his wife was vice mayor of Oakland, and she's on the city council, and they raised their 2 children. And what I'm guessing is a fairly comfortable environment, considering they're both professionals and doing relatively well for themselves. He went on to explain to me I didn't know what I was talking about because of my white privilege. And I said, well, let's examine my white privilege, may we? And I said, I got out of North Hollywood High. I did not go to college. I worked cleaning carpets. I went into restaurants and cleaned carpets. At night, after closing, we'd go into the Sizzler or the Hamburger Hamlet, and we'd stay there till 3 or 4 in the morning cleaning carpets. Later on, I worked on construction sites, not as an apprentice or a carpenter, but as a laborer, digging ditches, mostly cleaning up garbage, picking up after the carpenters, tearing ivy off the side of a hill house and then dragging it up the hill and throwing it in the dumpster. Whatever work donkeys were qualified to do, that's what I did. And I did that for months and years, and at a certain point, when I felt like my white privilege wasn't kicking in at all, Mom was on food stamps and welfare. Dad was, eking out a living and had no extra money or time for anybody else. I said, you know what would be a good job for me? Fireman. I'm strong. I'm eager for the fray. I have no qualms about my personal safety, and I think I would make a good fireman. Plus, I love chili. I love playing foosball, and as far as I could tell, when they're not putting out fires, they're eating chili and playing foosball. So Dennis doesn't know what foosball is.
I do.
Oh, wow, he does. All right. That Jewish fraternity really knew how to party. So I went down to the fire department in North Hollywood. I just walked over there and I said, I'm going to put in an application to be a fireman. And they said, fine. I filled it out. I handed it to the guy, and the guy said, don't hold your breath. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, we're not going to be getting to you for some years. And when you're 19 and you're destitute and your stepmom's trying to extricate you from the garage you're living in and you have no job or no real income, the notion of we'll call you in 6 or 7 years if something comes up is not a buoy you cling to. And sure enough, I moved out of the house and I kept going, and I bought my foreman told me if I bought a pickup truck instead of rode a motorcycle to the job site with my tool bags fastened and looped around my neck like a bandolera's belt. He said, I'll give you another $1 an hour. So I promptly sold my motorcycle and bought a used pickup truck. And I was about 25, 26, 5-6 years in my carpentry career. And my dad showed up to my apartment one day, and he had a letter. And he said, this letter came to the house, the old address. It's from the LA Fire Department. And sure enough, there was a date to take the written test at Hollywood High the following weekend. And I said, well, I don't even want to be a fireman anymore, but because I've waited 6 years to be a fireman, I'm going down to Hollywood High on 10 a.m. on Saturday. And I stood in line to get into this place, and I was really sort of marveling at the fact that it'd taken 6 years for them to contact me. Now imagine if I didn't have white privilege. I could have still been waiting. today. But there was a young lady, very diminutive lady, a small, slightly built lady behind me. Could not tell her nationality. Could have been black, Latino, or mixed, or something like that. And everyone around me, I kept saying, "When did you put in your application? When did you put it?" And I turned around to her and I said, "When did you put in your application?" And she said, "Tuesday." So I went back to this fellow when we were arguing about white privilege, and I said, "I'm not here to tell you it exists or doesn't exist. I'm here to tell you it never existed for me," in which case he just did the ultimate, which is, you are the recipient of it, you just don't know it.